Hi everyone, welcome to the Morgan Homestead. I'm Kevin. So today is the day that we start the build of the cabin, so stick around for that. It's kind of an exciting day for us. We do have a guy from Voyageur Log Homes coming to help us set the first couple courses, so we'll try and give you as much detail, and we'll go over some things just to kind of explain what we're doing. And it's supposed to be kind of hot today, so it may be a slower day than usual, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, so now we're finally to the point where we can stack some logs.
Okay, so what he's doing here is he's taking a chainsaw and cutting a V-notch into the end of each log where they butt up together. It's about a 3-inch gap, and then when you butt the two logs up together, you spray foam down into that void, and it seals up that butt joint so that no airflow can pass through there.
like countersink?
Just until they're down.
Harder than you catch
So here we are putting in the first screws, the log screws. You gotta put these log screws every 4 to 5 feet apart on each log.
kind of where I want them.
Okay.
Juice coming out of that one.
They look pretty dry.
I know.
Here we are putting down what's called butyl tape. It's kind of like a caulking. It's real sticky caulking in a roll. So we just roll that out on the tongues. There's 2 tongues in each log, and then the log above it has 2 grooves that fit into those tongues on the log below it. So we roll this tape out along the tongue on the log below, and then we set the next log on top of it, and it helps seal the gap between the 2 logs. It also helps adhere the 2 logs together.
The outside, it can be double pieces, but
Sorry, you just gotta hold it up in the air a little bit longer. Let me get mine. I'm good. Now just try to set it right down on the groove. That's fine. What you don't want to do is pick up, put down, pick up, put down. This stuff will get in the middle everywhere. Cause you nightmares. So we'll just leave it. It's not that big a deal. It's just gotta go that way a little bit. Okay, grab that other one and get it in place first. I like to put a whole wall on before I fasten anything. You want to always check your not the grooves underneath. They're clean, but sometimes they'll have quick tips. You just want to check your grooves every time also. Okay. Same thing. Nope, not the outside. So you want to set that outside. The main thing is you just don't want to set it down in the wrong place. This is what Dallas was talking about. Here's the issue is with all of these is those screws rarely pull them down where you need it. That's why you have a bumper log. You basically just bump it at every screw. And that jolt does more than the screw ever will. Then I tighten up my screw a little more. I look to see if I'm up or down. You gotta look underneath at your seams. And this one is almost completely tight already, so I would just tighten those up. Yeah, that's all you ever need is about that much. And then finish it with a bump. And say maybe just a little bit tighter. We might be able to get a little bit more. And you can kind of see if you're watching when you do it, if it's going down or not? Yep. As long as it's going down, you just keep going. Yep. I'm gonna tighten that screw quick. This one here. Yep. I think it's touching that groove. Okay. That's tight now. That's not
So what
gonna
are you
go
looking
anymore.
at? So you're looking at
I'm looking basically right here. Right in this seam here. And we're tight right there. It's not going to go any tighter. On the outside, it looks a lot nicer than that even, so.
okay. Good.
Yep, that's what you're looking for. So I'll typically just try to get it somewhat into place first. Log isn't the straightest log, so try to cheat it up a little bit so that this end will go down better. Not yet, so it's much closer to being, it's actually what you want to look for. How centered you are over these two tongues.
Okay. Yep.
Because a lot of times if it's not centered, it's just not going to go down. And this one is still on there a little bit. And you actually don't need a very big bar, even a chisel. Regular hand chisel would work here. You just put a chisel right here and pry. It would pry right over, but rolling it again, so I think we'll see past that. But I would put the screw to the side a little bit. And you can manipulate the log as you screw a little bit. So we want the log to go that way, just the tiniest bit. And we want it to roll this way. So I put the screw towards this side, that'll help suck it down better here.
Yep.
But I'd put a slight angle that way.
Okay.
That'll help the log go that way.
Okay.
Get on those tongues better. It sounds like, I don't know if people believe me sometimes, but yeah. We're basically putting that screw in more as a guide than anything. Once you start, we're going to tighten up a little bit. Down a little bit. Okay, so now we're started, I can leave it. Okay. And I check the rest of my log. Typically don't put, now we're started on the front. Push up this far. I'd get another screw here. And just go straight because we're pretty tight on the inside end now. And in the middle. Yep, right about there, about every 4 to 5 feet. Yep, and since we're not twisted or rolled, just straight down. Try to bump it into place first. Normally, if it's straight, bumping it might just get the hook right on the tongue. So in this case, I think I'm going to have you get a screw started here. I'm just going to pull it over so we can hopefully get it that much closer. Right in the middle. Yep. bump it down first if you can.
Okay.
Where should I bump it? Right here. See if we can get it started first. So I get a screw started.
Where do you put it on the end here? Or
Yeah, right here. Okay. So stay away from your opening.
Yep.
And then, if anything, give it a slight outward angle, because we still have to get this to go out a little bit. Yep, too tight. Now bump it. Not yet. Tape. I have some tape, just like 2 inches that squeezed out right here.
Oh, really?
So if you see that, you just take a screw usually. And dig it out of there just because it's squeezing out. And it's not really a problem. Yep, that's right there.
So as you can see here, there are a few of the logs that are a little bit twisted and bowed. So they can be stubborn to try to get them to line up into the grooves in the tongues. So there are a few different types of techniques that can be used in order to get them to line up. This is one of them. I will be showing a few other ones throughout the series in a little bit more detail later on. It's just one of those things, you just gotta keep at it. The main thing is you're trying to get the log as straight as possible and as tight down, screwed down to the bottom, the log below it.
Up a little bit. No, it's good to have this log here because that's where you're going to struggle is this type. Yeah. Slice both of the log. And then this is how you get it. Just moving the log around and then bumping the screw. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. You wouldn't. Right. I can explain them, but like Dallas was trying to do. Yeah.
Okay, so day one's complete. We did get up 2 courses up. Ryan left, so tomorrow I'll be working this by myself, possibly one other person. But it went pretty well. It was hot today, but at least we had some breeze that kind of made it didn't make it feel too bad. So I'm going to show you a couple things that he was showing me that we need to do as we go along. So one thing you got to do in these butt joints like this before you put them on the wall is take a chainsaw and cut this V-notch in there on each one, and then fill it up with this spray foam, which helps seal this butt joint up. Then we also have to put this butyl tape down. It's basically a caulking, and then when the log gets screwed down to the course below, it seals it up in the tongue and groove area there. So one of the tricks to getting everything to suck down to the course below is he takes a big log, basically from an old log home, and as you tighten the screws down, you only snug them up, and then you take that block and you pound on them on the tops of the screws, and you tighten it down a little bit again until it snugs up, and then you'll see the crack between the 2 logs start closing up, and then once it's tight, you're good to go. Otherwise, if you try to screw it straight down just with the screw will strip out and you don't get anywhere. So it seems to work pretty good. Another thing we do is in the another thing you do before you put your spray foam in here is you take a pry bar, and try to line these tongues up the best that you can, and then put screws in, toenail screws into each one to kind of hold it in place, so that when you put your next course on, this lines up. And then now that we have 2 courses on, what we have to do is we have to take and drill for the electrical. So wherever you're going to put an electrical box on an exterior wall, we have to drill down this course here to the bottom, which we created these V-notches down at the bottom. You can see that? And then what we're doing is we're trying to drill that hole down to hit that V-notch, so when you run your electrical, all my electrical is going to be ran around the perimeter of the building next to the floor, because that gets covered up with a baseboard, and then you run that wire up through that hole. You'll create a hole in the log the size of your electrical box, and then the wire goes up into that. We have to do that now because the electrical box will go in this course here. Now over here, once we get these openings for the doors, once we get these walls here higher and everything's good and secure, then we can take a chainsaw and cut out the bottom course there for the opening. Okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna be doing, like I said, mostly working this myself, maybe one other person. I'm gonna try to use my skid steer and use a strap to lift the logs and try to set the logs on the wall with the skid steer instead of having to lift everything manually. See how that goes. It'll probably go a little slower, but it's not as much work, so we'll see how that goes. So hopefully, so yesterday we got 2 courses done, but you know, one guy knowing exactly what he needs to do. So this course, the next course, I'm sure is going to go a little slower without him. So hopefully we can get at least 1 course done. We'll see. So please subscribe. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Share it on your social media. And then you'll get notified of the next video for the log cabin build.